Ladies and gentlemen, Expert Fusion has a phenomenal video about how modern zombies can be fixed, because we know COD 2024 is going to have Cold War 2 pretty much. So ladies and gentlemen,
today we're going to be talking about all of the major issues with the Black Ops Cold War zombies perk system, specifically in terms of the upgrade system and how it should have been, or at least what they should do for the future zombie titles. And yes, I know, if you don't watch a lot of my videos, you might genuinely
keeping progression in the game is what I believe zombies is all about. While yes, I do think this perk upgrade system was good, it could have been a lot better and something you could have done in game that's unsimilar to Vanguard, because Vanguard's way is not good.
That I despise this game because of how much I complain about it. But honestly, the reason I think it's so important to give a lot of criticism specifically for this game is because this game changed the zombies formula in such a massive way and could completely...
It Warzone-ified zombies, and unfortunately, like things like the compass and the mini-map and just all this extra HUD, definitely think it could be redone and repurposed a lot better, in my opinion.
Decide what the future of zombies will be like. And so many people were very satisfied with a lot about Cold War Zombies.
I was too.
I'm very happy for those people. I do think there's a lot of systems that just don't work,
and they could be improved with very few touches.
I think alternatives to these systems could not only make the fans happier, but also just for myself, of course. So first things first, I want to just go over what the actual perk system was like in Cold War Zombies, so maybe those of you who haven't ever played Cold War Zombies can fully understand it. So essentially, it's very similar to any other perk system where you just go up to the perk and buy it, of course, you drink it, and there you go, you have the perk. It's similar to any other Call of Duty Zombies experience, of course. But this game is a little bit different because there's no perk limit, which was the first time in Call of Duty history where there was...
And the thing is that every perk starts at 2,500, and it doesn't matter what perk you grab, the next one will be 500 points more expensive up until like your last perk is like 6,000 points, which to me takes away the personality of the perks. Like when I think of Juggernog, I know it's 2,500. When I think of Speed Cola, I know it's 3,000, right? Like that's personality in my opinion.
There was no perk limit by default. Obviously the other COD Zombies games, there's ways to get more than 4 perks. Or more than perks past the perk limit, whatever the perk limit was of that game. But there was 0 perk limit in this game, so you can buy as many as you want. There was even a Wonder Fizz machine, which let you just directly buy the perks straight from it, no matter where you were on the map.
And I think also that takes away from the character, because for example, on Mauer, I literally asked people, I don't even know where the Juggernog machine is on this map, and they just said, go to the Wonder Fizz. You know, like, where's the personality in that?
You know, Wonder Fizz was there. You didn't even have to go to the actual physical machines themselves. So you can just buy it from that Wonder Fizz. And also the prices of these perks went up as you purchase them, which is also a very different system as well, because we didn't see that previously. But the biggest innovation about the system was, of course, the perk upgrade tiers, which was a completely new system where you can actually upgrade the perks permanently through the menus of the game. And you actually do this like out of the game. You're not doing it in the game itself. And you're able to unlock these upgrade tiers with Ethereum crystals that you earn in game. And there's a bunch of other things you can also upgrade within the menus with the Ethereum crystals that you earn in the game. There's really no like specific ways to earn them. You just kind of...
I also should say, like, it's funny when I look at those Ethereum crystals, I just think of MW3, and I really don't want schematics in round-based zombies. I feel like that would be horrible idea where you could spawn in with everything. No. Keep that in Modern Warfare 3 DMZ mode. This has to be all based in-game, traditional round-based style.
Play the game and you exfil or do an Easter egg, and then you just get rewarded with Ethereum crystals. That was basically it. But you use those to upgrade them, and that was pretty much the system. Once you upgrade them, they are permanently upgraded for the player. Whenever you buy that perk in the game, it will immediately have all of the upgrades that you had from the menus in that game all the time. That's just how it works. And I'm here to tell you that I do not like this system. In fact, I think it is a pretty bad system,
because it ultimately makes you too overpowered at the end. The thing is I like overpowered, but the thing about zombies is that you need to have a progression from point A to B. We've had this problem with BO4. When you spawn in with your best specialist weapon ready to go, what are you even going to do in the map? You know, if nothing is better than what you just spawned in with. You know,
there are some positives to it. So let me first go over the few positives of this system. Whenever you're criticizing something, it's always a great idea to go over the counterpoints as well.
100%.
So first of all, I do think a really good thing about the system is this is the first time we ever had like an official perk upgrade system.
Better than Vanguard's perk upgrade system, I'll tell you that.
Of course, Black Ops 4 did have the perk modifiers, which one of your perks in your perk loadout would be an upgraded version of that perk, but you couldn't upgrade all of them. So it wasn't like an official perk upgrade system. We also had perma perks back in Black Ops 2,
which I think is still one of the best ways, because it was just, okay, how do you get PhD flopper? Let's just dolphin dive a couple times off a high height. Now you've got it. Like, it's just progressional ideas that you would already think of to get it. And that's why I still think it is kind of crazy that the perma perk system is still one of the best. And it's also the reason why I'm adding it into Die Rise Remastered. It's incredible. What an amazing system.
And then we had the God masks as well,
and
as
the masks
too. You can put on your player in Black Ops 3.
I like the masks.
That would kind of give you like upgraded perks, but again, they weren't really.
And they didn't have to just be masks. You know, they could have been armor, like different pieces of armor too, like a gauntlet or like a boots or whatnot. You know,
perk upgrade system where you can actually upgrade all of your perks. So this is the first time we had that. So for that, I give it a thumbs up. At least it's the first time we saw it. And it did give the player something to grind for. You know, of course, there's tons of other things in the game to grind for already. I mean, most of the zombies games have things to grind for. Black Ops 4 has a ton of things to grind for.
Nebulium was not it. And I think the thing is like, we know Gobblegum is coming into COD 2024. I don't like pay-to-win systems, but the thing is Gobblegum wasn't ultimately pay-to-win because you could earn Liquid Divinium in the game and a substantial amount, way more than Nebulium would ever give you. So I think we need to go back to that personally.
So does World War II, Infinite Warfare, even Black Ops 3.
I like the IW system too.
In most of the recent Zombies games.
Yeah.
But this was just an extra thing, and in general, of course, I could see that as a positive. But that's where the positives drop off completely, and I can honestly give counterpoints to both of those things I just said there. So first of all, with the grind thing, of course, having a grind is cool. But the problem with this perk upgrade system is that it's an insanely fast grind, and it's also a grind that ends. So a grind that...
I think it was a lot harder when the game first launched, but also, like, if you're hitting round 100s consistently, you were farming these crystals, because they came in like every 5 rounds, man.
It doesn't end would be like Black Ops 3's Gobblegum system.
Yes.
Now, of course, I know there's an exploit to make it so you never lose your Gobblegums, but that's obviously not an intentional game choice. Let's say that that exploit didn't exist, then Gobblegums would technically be in Limitless grind because you can just continuously play the game to earn more Gobblegums, and when you use the Gobblegums, they go away, so you have to keep playing to earn more. So that is a, you know, limitless grind that never ends. But
as much as I didn't like the Newton's Cookbook, I still agree. I like the fact of having different things that give me different buffs or nerfs or whatever with Gobblegums. Like, that's what made it fun.
You have a system like this where you can upgrade the perks permanently, and it doesn't take that long to do it, to be honest. It's not, you know, a limitless grind. There is a limit there where once you do it, you're done, and you're forever done upgrading your perks till the end of time. And in theory, I don't think a limited grind like that is a bad thing as long as it lasts for a while. Like, let's say maybe like
but it's not as replayable as the Liquid Divinium system, though, you know?
The, life cycle of that game or something like that. But for me personally, I was able to max the tiers for all of the perks within maybe a few days of Cold War releasing. Now, of course, I know I play zombies more than the average person, but still, it should not take me a few days.
A grind should cater to all players. People that have 1 hour a day to play and people that have 12 hours a day to play. Like, that is the hallmark of an incredible system, in my opinion.
Is to completely finish a grind, like a big portion of the grind in the game, just, you know, be done with it. Like, it's a permanent thing that always is going to be on my player now, just after like 4 or 5 days. And then, of course, they added the tier 4 and tier 5 later on in the life cycle. And again, I completed those within maybe a week, maybe less than a week. So it's not really like a grind that lasts that long. So when people...
The ideas were there, but again, the execution could definitely be made better.
About it being this awesome grind. It really never was to me because it was very quick to do. And then you were just kind of done. Like, yes, there was the other things you can upgrade as well, but those things were not really nearly as interesting as the perk upgrades.
I agree.
So specifically talking about the perks, I just kind of did those as soon as I could. And yeah, it was really fast. And it's not really...
It's because most people want the meta strat. And so the perk upgrades gave the meta strat. Well, yes, you could upgrade your melee to a Bowie knife. That was sick. Other than that, I feel like all the other upgrades were pretty meaningless. Like, I don't ever feel the effects of them as well. And that's the thing. You should feel the effects, but you should also feel the way that you felt right at the launch of the game and be able to progress into something just ungodly, you know?
fun grind either, because you're not specifically working towards anything. You're just kind of playing, and then you just happen to get Ethereum crystals. You don't even know how you really earn them.
That's true as well.
And then you use them in the perks.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
I agree.
And because of the tiers to the perks don't really have much personality to them. And what I mean by that is, like, you don't really remember what a specific version of each perk feels like. Like, I bet the majority of you, without looking it up, can probably not tell me what most of the different tiers to the perks actually did. You can
even the tier 5 ones, I have very little idea other than like Elemental Pop gave you Electric Cherry for tier 5. That was it. I don't know any of the other ones.
Probably tell me what the perks do.
Yeah.
But do you remember like which specific tiers did that for the perk? I can remember maybe the tier 5 ones, because those ones were kind of the ones that stood out the most. Like, I know Elemental Pop gave you the Electric Cherry ability with the tier 5, and that stands out because it's literally another perk basically within it. So of course it's going to stand out a little bit more. But like
which I think is what they need to do. Like, they need to give it that extra personality. The reason we know that is because everybody loves Electric Cherry, right?
And also, it's like, I don't really know the specifics because I upgraded them so quickly to the point where I didn't really even think about it. Like, I didn't have that, long period of time where I was spending time with like one version of the perk. Maybe I was using tier 2 of Jug for a while, so that was something I remembered how tier 2 felt compared to tier 4 or tier 5. There really is no difference because you just kind of do it. Obviously there is a difference in how the usefulness of them are, but you don't really think about it because you do it so quickly. You upgrade them so quickly. And to me, that's the exciting thing about upgrades in a game, is getting to see the difference between the different versions when you're upgrading something. And if you don't really feel those different versions for a long enough time, then how is it really an upgrade system? Because you have Jug, and you just kind of upgrade it within like one game of playing, and then now the rest of the time you play, it's now upgraded. That's kind of just weird.
It goes back to the BO4 problem, where you can just load in with your best weapon, right? It's the same issue ultimately. Like, sure, they dragged it out because now you have a little grind that you can do, but ultimately it comes back to the problem of, I don't want to load in and feel like I'm already at the best that I can be.
Weird. Like, I played maybe 2 games of Cold War Zombies with tier 1 Jug.
Right.
And then ever since then, it's been a much better version of Jug. And I've probably played over 1,000 games since then.
Wow.
That's just a weird idea to me. Like, think of any other game that does that. I physically can't think of any other game.
No, this is the only game.
It's my next point, and I think it's just about the idea of them being permanent is what hurts the system so much. Because there's no way to use the worst versions of the perks. Now, maybe they could have added some system where you can like switch between the tiers. So maybe if I want to challenge myself, I can play a game with just the tier 1 version of the perks. Maybe like speedrunners can have a separate speedrun category with just the unupgraded versions of the perks. Something like
make it like a challenge, like Skulls back from Halo, man.
Just to give yourself more of a challenge, because honestly, using these perks in their tier 5 form, you feel like the most powerful person known to man. And that honestly wouldn't be a problem if Cold War Zombies was a harder game to begin with, but the default mechanics and zombies of Cold War are so easy already. So when you add OP perks on top of that are really easy to get and don't really feel rewarding to earn, because like I said, the grind is so quick, you get them so soon, and then now you just have these incredibly OP perks. All you have to do is just buy them. That's all you have to do.
Like, it's kind of crazy to me that Tombstone, for example, has 5 tier upgrades, and even if you upgrade all 5, it practically feels the same, and it just doesn't even function that great. Like, it doesn't feel overpowered at all. It feels more of like a burden than an actual perk that you should try to acquire, which is not good, Which
usually takes maybe 10 to 15 to 20 rounds at most. I'm sure you can get all the perks in the game by round 20. If you're a decent player and you know how to spend your points properly, you can probably do that. And so then you have these incredibly OP perks for the rest of the game. It's like impossible to go down at that point, and that's not fun to me. It just fundamentally goes against the whole purpose of zombies. The whole purpose of zombies is you're supposed to start with less and earn your way up. And actually back in the day, it was you basically started with nothing. You started with a pistol, you started with...
Which is why, ultimately, I also think we should go away from loadouts. Like, I'll never forget when Halo 4 added, like, create a class, and it just completely ruined the game, because progression is so integral in this game mode. I just don't think they understand that.
And 500 points. That was it. And obviously, as time went on, they started adding little... things that you can have to start with, and I'm fine with most of that, like Gobblegums, whatever, like, sure.
Gobblegum was good because it's not insanely overpowered for the most part. Like, sure, there were some crazy ones, but the thing is like, it actually felt like it was towards your progression. It wasn't just like 0 to 100, I'm a god now,
You don't have to use Gobblegums, you could, whatever. But these permanent things, you're unlocking them permanently.
Exactly.
Do you want me to just play the game and just never even utilize that system? No, of course, I want to utilize it here and there, but I don't want to use it for every single game going forward. And obviously, I want to be able to buy the perks, but if you can't use the worst version of the perks, then you're kind of just shit out of luck. There are plenty of games out there that have similar systems where you're upgrading stuff. Like, think of like Dying Light, for example. And I mean,
skill trees, man. Like, that's what I'm saying. Just stuff like this, where it's like even stat buffs, where it's like maybe you start, but you permanently build, like maybe you get an extra health point for your next game or whatnot. Like, and it's not necessarily permanent. Like, you can detract them, you can add them back. Like, it's just giving the customization to the player, you know?
You can probably give this example for a million games out there, but think of any game with a skill tree. I just thought of Dying Light because it's the one that I really love that game, so why not? You have a skill tree there, right? You have a bunch of things you can actually upgrade as you're playing the game, and those are permanent unlocks. Obviously, if you restart your entire game, that's different, but those unlocks are permanent to the player, and you can just, keep getting them as the game goes along. But you slowly earn them. You don't earn the last one until the end of the game, pretty much. I mean, it depends how quickly you're going through it, but, you could earn them closer to the end.
And you notice how the skill tree, each skill has that much of a personality. Same thing with, like, games like Spider-Man 2. But the thing is when you make them numbered tiers, it just instantly, like, people just don't click in with that, you know?
Or maybe you won't even finish all the skill tiers by the time you finish the game. That's entirely possible.
Exactly.
You could at least, take your time with it or whatever. But you're earning them as the game is progressively getting harder and harder and harder. So there's a balance there. There's an organic balance. But Zombies isn't like that. Zombies restarts its difficulty every time you load up a new match. And you load up a new match pretty much every other day. I mean, I could play like 4 games of Zombies in one day. Whereas if I play through a whole entire game of Dying Light, like the entire campaign, that'll take a good like 8 or 10 hours. I won't be doing that in one sitting. I'll probably be doing that over the course of a couple days. But think of how Zombies has always worked. You have these, things like Pack-a-Punch Machine. You can really feel the difference between having an unupgraded gun.
That's the key thing he just said. You can feel the difference. And it's not an incremental jump. It's let's go from 0 to 1, 1 to 2, not 0 to 100. Let's take it one at a time. Because when you really feel it, and it has the personality, just like how OG Zombies had with the Pack Punch and all that, that's when it hits different.
And then finally getting the upgraded gun. Once the rounds are starting to get harder, you're like, oh no, I don't think I can get past round 20 without an upgraded gun. So you really feel like I need to Pack-a-Punch my weapon.
Exactly.
You need to buy perks. You need to get, your wonder weapons. You need to, let's say you're in Black Ops 4. You need to get your specialist weapon tiered up all the way to tier 3.
Again, with specialist, I think this is where the argument definitely falls through because, again, you get the best weapon in the game right at the beginning.
And guess what? It restarts when you restart a new game. Like, all these things reset because it's the natural progression of Zombies. It's how it should be. And these permanent...
I personally wish you would just go out and find those specialist weapons, though.
Unlocks, specifically with the perks, are not like that. Of course, you still have to buy the perks, but like I said, it's not that hard to buy the perks. You can just go up and buy them. It takes 2 seconds, and you could have a really OP setup with just even 4 or 5.
And a lot of the progression in this game just feels like getting enough points to buy things. Like Triple Pap in Cold War is 30,000 points. Like, what? That is ridiculous. And then, again, all the perks are expensive, too. So, like, that's what I mean. Like, the currency, I feel like, was a really cool idea with Cold War. It just didn't feel like fully fleshed out,
Perks. And that's all you really need in Cold War, and you're going to be completely OP. You can do that by like round 10. And it wasn't something that you did a lot to accomplish. You didn't, beat all the Easter eggs and then get a director's cut mode like you do in Infinite Warfare. You didn't do anything that really...
I love director's cut mode. Like, that mode exactly exemplifies what he's talking about. Great progression. You do a ton of work and get such a god tier reward,
It's having such an OP
and the boss fight mode.
OP things in Zombies. I want OP things in Zombies.
Yes, OP is not the problem. I get so many people on Twitter saying, oh, why are you complaining about Treyarch nerfing? It's supposed to be a progression mode. That's not the problem. OP is not the problem. It's how you go from 0 to OP is the problem.
But make me work for it.
Exactly.
And look, I know there's a lot of people out there who like to say that they just want Zombies to be something where you just jump in and just kill zombies and don't have to worry about, getting a bunch of stuff. So
well, ultimately, that is what it is. It's just like, this is the content that, like, gives the personality of the maps, man. Like, nobody was... I think people that just say that are just casuals, like, it is what it is.
You'd rather have this perk upgrade system because you don't have to worry about an extra thing in the game. And to that I say, like, Zombies has really never been like that. Like, I can't think of a time where Zombies was so just jump in.
For most people, I think it was like the World at War BO1 days where you pick up a weapon, just start shooting. But it's like, You can add a little more depth to that without making it completely ridiculous like BO4, you know?
Get everything right away. It's always been something where you have to work towards it at least a little bit. Even in Cold War, you're still working towards
that
stuff
is true.
in other avenues. Like, for example, your pack-a-punching. You still have to take a long time before you can get tier 3 pack-a-punch. That's not an easy thing to get in Cold War.
Which 30,000
points. They have that
system
there. But why can't perks be like that too? So as any decent video that is criticizing something should do, I'm going to be offering an alternative to a perk upgrade system that they should do in the future games.
And I'm excited to see this
in Cold War in some senses. I'm just going to get Vanguard out of the way here and just say that that is not the system I'm going to be using as an alternative.
This was the lazy man solution to what we're talking about. And ultimately, it doesn't fix the problem because upgrading your Juggernog in Vanguard from tier 1 to 4 it doesn't add personality. It's another number. Like, I don't care. Give me the personality.
Because I do not think Vanguard's perk upgrade system was any good.
I agree.
Do I think it's better than Cold War's system? In some senses, sure.
It fills the idea of progression, but then takes out the personality, like I said, because it's just numbers. Who cares?
But not in terms of like how it was executed fully, because the problem with Vanguard's system is that although I did like it being in-game, obviously that's a good thing, I don't like the fact that you have to continuously go back to the perk machine every single time you wanted to upgrade it.
Very
annoying. It
annoying.
costs a lot of money as well. I don't really think that whole system was that beneficial to the player. It just kind of got repetitive. And honestly, the differences between the perk upgrade tiers did not feel major enough to warrant, you know, forcing the player to go back and forth to the machine to just keep rebuying it. I do not think that was the good system. I do not think that's the only alternative possible for a perk upgrade system. And
it's
not. It's really frustrating that so many people think that in-game perk upgrade systems can't work just because Vanguard's wasn't good.
Why are you even speaking if you're thinking that? That's baloney.
There's so many ways you can do it. Honestly, my one idea here is not even going to be the only idea possible. But I'm going to offer anyways because I do think it is a pretty good idea. So my solution is pretty simple. Just like any other perk system, you go up to the perk, you buy it, and boom, you're good, right? You have the tier 1.
Which ultimately, the classic mechanics should stay the same. That's why Cold War was so successful, in my opinion, for casuals over BO4, is because we brought it back to the classics. And while, yes, there were still some problems, you can't beat what's already doing great.
One version of the perk, though. That's all you have. You do not have all the upgrades that are in the menus. No, that is not there. It is all in-game. So what do? How do you upgrade the perk? Well, you do a simple in-game challenge. Now, the challenge is going to be the exact same for every single perk.
Just like how perma perks were, man. People thought perma stamina back in transit was like run like maybe 50 kilometers in a game or like 10 kilometers or something, right? Like, and then you actually feel like you earned it, you know? And then it could be even more overpowered because of how much work you have to get there, right?
Every time you play. So once you know it, once you learn it, you don't have to keep trying to memorize it. And if you forget it, you can go up to the perk machine after you buy it and it'll literally show you like some sort of in-game look at what the actual challenge is, and it'll even show your progress of it. So you know exactly what to do every single time. You don't have to worry about that. And it will be something that relates to the perk. Just as a few examples, PhD Flopper would be getting X amount of kills with explosives.
There you go.
Would also include your explosive dive. So you don't have to buy an explosive weapon.
Because then you're actually thinking about it and you're like, man, I want to get the best version. Like, what is that going to be? You know, and it makes it all incorporated in the game. And you're not just sitting doing high rounds, shooting the ray gun at the top of Nocturne Totem. No, there's actual things to do that are fun.
Just keep
amazing idea.
The zombies, and that'll count as explosive kills. For Deadshot, it would be headshots. Get X amount of kills. You know, with headshots, there could also be one.
It's not rocket science, legit. It's just so easy. That's what I'm saying.
Juggernog, which could be maybe getting X amount of kills without being hit by a zombie, because obviously, you know, Juggernog has to do with damage. So why not make it a, you know, damage-based challenge where you just don't take damage?
Exactly.
And that's how you do it. So if any of these, you know, challenges have anything in common, it's simply that it's things that you would do
normally in the game,
regardless of even trying to do it in the first place. Like, these are things that
Expert Fusion, you got this, bro.
Playing the game. I'm assuming if you have PhD, you're probably going to use it a little bit. I'm assuming if you have Deadshot, you're probably going to be getting a lot of headshots and not getting hit by zombies. That can happen. No, these things are natural things that could happen while just playing the game. So it's not forcing the player to go out of their way and do some, you know, separate challenge.
That's why perma perks worked so well and intrigued the player, because they just see this puff of smoke and you'd be like, whoa, what is that? Like, what did I just do? And then you get interested, right? That's the hook, man.
Personally, I honestly wouldn't mind having like side quests for each perk upgrade. I'm a big fan of side quests. I
don't think they should go side quests. I think bringing it back to that BO2 system where it literally just appears right in front of the player's face, where it hooks them in and gets them interested, that is key.
More things to do on a zombie map is a good thing.
Yes.
But I know a lot of people aren't for that. And I do think this should be maybe like a simpler system, just so, you know, more casual players could be able to upgrade all their perks without having to worry about all the different side quests and such. So I'm honestly offering a compromise here. It's not just what I think would be best for me. I'm also thinking what would be best for everyone. But it gives them something to do as well. So even if it's not, you know, that tedious, it's still something to do. It's just something that they can now work on it. They can kill zombies within that specific challenge. And it would naturally happen over time, most likely. And it would take enough time to the point where you're not going to have these overpowered perks at round 10 or round 5.
Exactly.
Even if you get your perks that early. You're going to have to wait a little bit.
And it would make boss fights that much more integral, where it's like, again, I know that this is a speedrunner's worst nightmare, adding length to everything, but for casuals, this would be great. And I think even for speedrunners, it would be great because you would know exactly what sort of tier or skill you would need to get up to, let's say, like a stamina upgrade number 3 or speed coal upgrade number 4 for you to be able to do a boss fight faster. I feel like that would just instantly make the skill ceiling way higher and way more interesting to watch as well.
It might take till round 15, round 20, round 25. It might take some time depending on, obviously, when you buy that perk and when you do the challenge. And maybe there's 3, 4, 5 tiers, whatever, and it's just the exact same challenge. It's just each time you have to get another amount of kills. Maybe, you know, it's 50 kills with headshots for the first tier upgrade, but then the next one's maybe 75, and then it goes to 100, and then just goes up and up and up like that. So if you want to use the tier 5 version of the perks, you might have to wait till like round 30 or 35, depending on how quick you are with it. And to me, that's fair. That's how it should be.
I think that's fair as well.
Insanely overpowered perks by round 15. That is why Cold War is so damn easy.
Well, and also it just gets boring because then what do? You're already number 1, you know?
It's so easy. Obviously, it's pretty easy by default, like I said before. But this is one of the reasons that it's even easier. And I think it would at least add an additional challenge and just an additional layer of progression to the game if it was something you earned in-game every time you play.
And casuals would love it because literally they would just play the game and learn it. Literally. It's not forced learning. And players might still really
want that permanent upgrade system there. So what could they do to give those players something? Well, give us ways to do that, but make it a really difficult thing to accomplish. Maybe perhaps.
Like the teeth system and Extinction too. That was a phenomenal system of grinding where you got to get some insane rewards. And so many of the people that unlock those, like you can tell that they have it. And you look in game, you're like, bro, this guy's been grinding, right?
Completing all the Easter eggs.
Yes.
So by the time the last map comes out for the game, let's say this is...
I think Cold War's super Easter egg was in the right direction, but it needed that little more oomph, you know?
For COD 2024, after you complete that last map's Easter egg and you've completed all the other ones, you get rewarded a mode just like Director's Cut mode. And what this mode does, it lets you have all the perks permanently upgraded.
6 quick revives as well. It makes the game easier because you earned it.
Right from the start. And it gives you other rewards as well, just like Director's Cut did. But it's a separate mode that you don't have to play, but you could play if you'd like to. And it's a whole separate
What
option,
a great example, Expert Man.
Like, you don't have to do it, but you can if you want, that sort of thing. And now that is a way to actually earn those permanent perk upgrades. So now every time you play, you don't have to do those challenges to earn them.
You see how instantly he's giving that much more customization to the mode? Like, you don't have to play in Director's Cut if you don't want to. You can play the vanilla. You can play exactly how you are on launch. Can you do that on Cold War? No, right? Customization to the player is key.
That's how it should be. It should be something rewarding, something that makes you feel like, wow, I really earned this. I really accomplished something to get here. Nobody accomplished anything to tier upgrade all of the perks in Cold War.
Exactly. You can do like 20 round 20 games and pretty much have a lot of the stuff upgraded. And it's like you didn't even do anything. You just played the game 20 rounds, right?
To break it to
fully
you,
agree.
You didn't accomplish shit. You didn't do anything, right?
Yeah.
You played a video game. That's all you did.
Yeah,
You
legit.
Maybe 5 hours of a video game. That's not much. I'll be honest. It's not much. And for those players who really want some sort of a limitless grind like I was talking about before, here's a great idea for a limitless grind. Gobblegums. bring Gobblegums back.
Bro, if they bring it back non-pay to win in a good way, oh my gosh, it's over. Gulf War is going to slap.
Already been rumored to be coming back in COD 2024.
Yes.
So they should bring them back. Now, not like how they did in Black Ops 3, though, because Black Ops 3s were very RNG-centric, and they were almost like loot boxes in a sense, and we don't want loot boxes back. Let's be real here.
Yeah.
So how should they bring Gobblegums back? Well, to me, it's a very simple solution. Literally just have some sort of Dr. Monty's Gobblegum shop and let players directly purchase what Gobblegum
with
want.
Ethereum
Not
crystals,
with
right?
No, not with COD points, but with an in-game currency that you...
This is perfect. This Activision Treyarch, please tell me you're watching. This is perfect, dog. Legit. This is infinite replayability. And all you would have to do, you wouldn't even need a Monty's factory. You wouldn't even need it. Literally, just if you want to add microtransactions, let people buy the crystals. But guess what? You can earn them in the game the exact same way you were able to do in BO3 Liquid Vanilla. This literally fixes the BO3 system and the Cold War system perfectly. In one simple touch. It's amazing. Expert, this is a phenomenal video.
Earn by playing the game
wow.
just like Ethereum crystals.
Yes.
You can literally do the exact same thing. Ethereum crystals have that exact same currency.
And I like how he has them all differently ranked dependent on what the effect is. So the max ammo is 10. The on the house is 10. The wall power is 15. The perkaholic is 25. But then you look at like a carpenter and it's just 2, right? Like that is key.
The return, have it so you can earn it from playing the game, or maybe earn it through different contracts.
This is well done, man.
And you can use those to directly purchase specific Gobblegums that you want. So let's say you want a double points Gobblegum, one that lets you spawn in a double points drop. It'll maybe cost you 3 or 4 Ethereum crystal. I have no idea what the
grind level people would be on would be insane, man.
Currency would be like, but this is just a random example. Let's say it's like 4 Ethereum crystal. So you want to buy just 1, it's 4. That's it. You have 1 now. If you want to buy a second one, it's going to cost you 8. You want to buy 3, it's going to cost you 12. And because when you use that Gobblegum, it goes away after using it, and there's no exploits in this game. You're not going to be able to leave your game to save your Gobblegums. So essentially, when you use it, you're done. But guess what? You can just go play more and buy another one. So it's not like relying on RNG like in Black Ops 3. And it's also...
Exactly. It eliminates those garbage Gobblegums, because that was the problem with Newton's Cookbook. That was the reason why it existed. But this system is literally better than both Monty's Factory and Newton's Cookbook, because you buy exactly what you want. You get to play exactly like the way that everybody wants to play, which is the meta way, the #1 most OP best way. This is the solution.
Some sort of grind that ends.
This is an incredible video.
Goes on forever. You can keep playing to grind as many Ethereum crystals as you want, so then you can keep buying Gobblegums in the shop to have a whole stack of them, and you actually earn those. You did something for those, but they're not permanent. Maybe a Gobblegum could also be like Perkaholic. Like, we can bring that back, and maybe this version of Perkaholic can give you the tier 5 perks, but it costs like 100 Ethereum crystals. So you really have to work for this like ultra
different prices and ranges. Oh my gosh. And then you could even go on with this idea with like an economy like CSGO, where you could trade between players, but obviously there's a bunch of legal stuff. But Expert, this is a phenomenal video.
That just gives you the tier 1 perks.
Yes.
But so you still have to do the actual challenges to get them. But we can also have this other version of Perkaholic that's a lot more expensive, but it'll give you all the perks right away, tier 5. So if you want to jump into an Easter egg right away with all tier 5 perks, boom, you get it. And you actually worked for that. You did something for it, and you spent a lot of your crystals on it. That will be so much more rewarding. Do
you see how little needs to be changed to just make the system work? It's unbelievable. Like, the answer is literally just right there.
Much more interesting. It would actually get players to grind the living hell out of zombies, and I think that would be incredible. Of course, they could also throw some of these Gobblegums in the battle pass, or maybe like as bonuses to some of the bundles. I'm not really against that. I know a lot of people would claim it's pay to win and such, but
they're doing it in MW3, and I don't find it that big of a deal. But yes, I could imagine they're gonna do operator bundles for COD 2024. But if they have a system like this for zombies, this is it. This is the #1 best system.
That Activision knows that there's a lot of revenue coming in specifically from zombies, because of course bundles that can be from zombies multiplayer Warzone.
There was an official IW director that said more people were playing IW zombies than IW multiplayer, and I still think about that to this day. And it's like,
whatever.
Y'all are alienating us.
Revenue coming specifically from zombies, they're more likely to put a higher budget into future maps and experiences for zombies, which is good for the fans. We want zombies to make more money. So I will take it being, quote unquote, pay to win, as long as we're actually getting a lot more, good quality.
Like, ultimately, I don't think we can avoid that, but this solution is the best of all the worlds
content in the future
combined.
So that is my idea for a perk
expert. This was a phenomenal video. Literally, I'm liking this video. Go check out Expert Fusion. This is a phenomenal idea, and I really hope that they implement this inside of Call of Duty Black Ops Cold 4.